And question number 4, Gail Ross.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. To ask the First Minister what action the Scottish Government is taking to investigate the disenfranchisement of EU nationals who were denied their vote at the recent EU elections.
First Minister.
Well, the number of EU nationals who appear to have been denied the vote in the European elections last week is nothing short of disgraceful. These are people who live and work here. This is their home. They had as much right to vote as any of the rest of us. The issues that arose were clearly a result of insufficient preparation time because of the prevarication over Brexit and a failure to address concerns raised by the Electoral Commission following the European elections in 2014. The fact that the UK Government appears to have taken no action to address this matter is unacceptable. The Cabinet Secretary for Constitutional Relations wrote to the UK Government in advance of the election warning that this could happen, and he has now written again calling for a full investigation to take place into this issue.
Gail Ross.
I thank the First Minister for her answer. In yesterday's statement, the Cabinet Secretary said that the proposed franchise for any future referendum would rightly include EU citizens and 16 and 17-year-olds. To save confusion or mistakes reoccurring in the future, surely this must be the standard for all elections. So will the First Minister continue to press the UK Government to adopt this system at Westminster, or, even better, put full control for holding democratic votes in the hands of this Parliament?
First Minister.
Well, I certainly agree that we should do the latter, but short of that, I do think that 16 and 17-year-olds and EU nationals should have the right to vote in all elections in Scotland. We also, as Mike Russell said yesterday, and as will be covered in separate legislation, we want to extend the right to vote to anybody who is legally resident in this country, regardless of what country they come from. I think that is fair and a sign of the open, inclusive, progressive country that we want to be. So we will continue to press the UK Government on these matters. But I don't think we should lose sight of what happened last week. I will not have been the only one who spoke to people at polling stations who had been denied the right to vote. I spoke to one constituent who was almost in tears and felt that this was the final straw of all of the stress and anxiety that he had gone through over the past 3 years. So there should be an investigation into this and any necessary steps should be taken to make sure that this disgrace is never allowed to happen again.
And Christine Graham.
Thank you very much, Presiding Officer. I, like many in the Chamber, also had constituents denied the right to vote, despite having filled in the appropriate UC1 form. I don't have such faith in the Westminster investigation. I note what the Cabinet Secretary has done. Can I ask if the Government would consider opening some kind of contact point for citizens in Scotland or EU citizens to register with us if they were unable to vote, so if the UK Government doesn't find out the numbers, we do?
First Minister.
We'll certainly give that consideration. Of course, as Christine Graham will be aware, we have established an advice line for EU nationals seeking to apply for the right to remain here after Brexit. So it may be that we can do something similar to allow people who were denied the right to vote to register that fact, which would give us the opportunity to understand the scale of it. So Mike Russell's, I see, noting it down. I will ask him to explore that possibility and report back to Christine Graham once we've had the opportunity to do so.